Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and today we're going to be talking about the cannabis industry. We're going to be talking about commodities. We're going to be talking about the US dollar versus the Chinese dollar, and we're sort of going to talk about a little bit about my life if we get to it, so stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please give me thumbs up. I truly do really appreciate that. It helps my channel grow. I really do appreciate that. I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information purposes. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about in this video. Buy or sell after you did your research, your due diligence, and you like the investment you're pursuing. So, listen, things have been going a little crazy right now. Yeah, I'm growing my channel on YouTube. It's cool. I'm at 135 subscribers. I'm growing it on Twitter. I'm not going to go to my Twitter page, but I'm Compound Interest Stock Guy on Twitter, and I'm making my messages be known throughout the world. I am very aware of the cannabis industry, and I follow a lot of very smart people in the industry, namely people such as Todd Harrison, even Todd Seymour. I don't think he really understands the cannabis industry fully, but he is connected with Wall Street. So regardless, I am following these people just to get an ear to the wall to know what's going on. I think I got Spotify going on in the background with some music. It's really on low volume, so I hope I don't get any copyright strikes. You're supposed to keep it really low, I guess, and then it doesn't get copyright strikes. I'd like to get music for an intro. I'm looking at something, and I might do that in the next 6 to 12 months or less than that. Yeah, so how's things going? Leave a comment down below how things are going. I'll tell you straight up, the cannabis industry isn't doing too hot right now. Do you want to know why the reason for that is? Because there's only about 3% of the companies that are making profit on a net income cash statement. So when you got companies such as Apple that make $59 billion in net income, and when we got companies that are doing 150 to $200 million in net income per quarter, which raises it up to about close to $1 billion net loss per year. Listen, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a genius, but basically it doesn't take a scientist or a genius to understand the fact that when you're losing $1 billion, that's going to affect your market cap. People are going to start selling your stock unless you're growing your revenues and it's based on hype. Now, hype can take a stock to unlimited levels, but as soon as the music stops, you have to face the tunes and realize that if a company is losing money every month, eventually they will run out of cash and they have to dilute and make their stock worth less. So what's going on? Tilt Holdings, they did announcements, two announcements today. They're talking about voluntary lockup, but they released it was already gonna go through, and I had no idea. But basically, they were gonna release 8 million shares today, so that's gone through. But there's another 72 million shares, I believe, that are locked up, and I think there's about 32 million shares that won't be let out till about December, and then there's another some leaving out next July, I think. Maybe there's some in spring. I don't have it with me to collectively 100% give you the truth about when the lockout's going to be, but I'm giving you a range of where they're going to be released. 8 million shares are going to be released with Tilt Holdings today. They already got released, so some of those insiders will be selling. But I think it's just a moving forward idea, because basis is, and they had another nice release talking about just that they're strategically realigned with investors. So that basically a lot of the options that have to do with Jupiter and some other entities of Tilt Holdings, uh, they can't. They're not going to be in the money till 525. So listen, I'm an options trader as well on a very small level. I've done about 2 to 5% of, like 2 to 3% of the money that I've invested in the market, or less than that, maybe like 1%, has been through options trading, and I made money. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost more money than I've made money on options. I'll be completely transparent. I don't tell anybody to invest into options unless they're an extremely intelligent person and they understand the risks involved with it. But regardless, those options, they're not going to be valuable till 525. So if the stock's at, what is it, like 145, 147, that needs to go up pretty much $4 in order for them to be in the money. So like it needs to be like $6, $7. So they need to get that share price up, and I think they will. I like that that they got rid of Alex Coleman in a sense. I kind of liked him, but I get the idea, the fact that they're letting him go just because he's a private equity guy, and that he's probably not the best person for their CEO. Mark Scatterday, I think that's his first name. He's kind of in there for the moment being, but there's no assurance that he's going to be there for a long time. I mean, they could get a huge executive. I'm talking someone from Johnson and Johnson. I'm talking someone from British American Tobacco. I'm talking about someone from Amazon. Who knows? Who really knows? The future is untold. I don't predict the future. I just talk about what I believe may be the future. Don't rely on me for buying or selling. And I also want to say that it was kind of funny. I'm in some Facebook groups, and some of these people are so bearish, and some of these people they troll these pages, and they're not even invested in these companies. And it's like, why are you hanging out there? You obviously want to invest into the company, but you just want to get it for dirt cheap. It's like looking at a $1 million house, and then just attacking it like, you're gonna lose money buying this $1 million house, and then it's just being a vulture, like a predator, and then as soon as it goes down to like $300,000, that same person that was talking all this shit is the same person that's buying that house at $300,000. So you gotta take it in perspective. Um, these people are full of fucking losers, straight up. Who the fuck wastes all their energy like doing that shit? That's just like the shadiest thing. Like, you got no fucking conscience. It's fine. It's fine to want to buy assets for dirt cheap. That's just being a smart effing investor. That's just being a smart investor. But to be a fucking shady motherfucker, and to be all like, yo, your assets going to $0, it's worth nothing, and to try to get people to listen to you and believe what you're saying, that's just like so fucking weak. That's like the lowest of the low to act in that behavior. So to those fuckers, I'll say this: go. You're gonna get your fucking. You're gonna get your fucking bad karma. Trust me. You're gonna get your bad fucking karma. But regardless, I'm not gonna be too negative about that shit. But we're gonna get into this. Okay, so crude oil is at $53.12. Now it's 3:24 a.m. in British Columbia, which is around 6 a.m. in Ontario, or I think it as well as in New York. But the deal with that is with crude oil, it moves a lot in these in uh the night hours. So honestly, I would want to get into the forex. I just haven't found a platform to do that because I think if I was like, able to do some leverage forex trading, I think I could make a lot of money. I think that's like would work out for me best because I'm a night hawk. But we'll see. I'm not gonna jump into it. I have done paper trading on forex before, but I'll tell you this. Okay, so it's 53.17. It may open up around like $55. Maybe it doesn't hit that high, but as soon as it opens up in the morning, it's going to go lower. It's going to go like 54, 53, and then maybe at the end of the day, it might reach like 53.75. All the big moves never happen during the trading hours, which makes trading the ETFs a real bitch unless you're swing trading them. If you're swing trading them, then yeah, you can make a lot of money, but generally the biggest moves up and down happen around this time. Okay, so tins up. What are the zinc's down almost 1%, like 0.8%. Palladium's down 0.44%, and gold's down 0.4%. So yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, I'm looking at this. Okay, so as an investor, I'm looking at the USD versus China because the USD versus China, they're in a trade war, right? So you gotta look at it. Who's gonna dominate a currency? Who's gonna be stronger? You gotta look at those things when you're investing because, I mean, you don't have to, but it gives you an advantage, I believe. Basically, it went down and now it's going up, and the US dollar is strengthening. And yeah, I mean, if the US dollar strengthens, I don't know, they could have an advantage over China, but in what ways? As far as buying things, as far as the stock market goes, I think it's better for the stock market if the US dollar becomes weaker. And the only way they can do that is by doing rate cuts or quantitative easing. So that is kind of what we're in. But then if they do the quantitative easing, we're at a close to 7-1 for USD to China. That would probably make it closer to $6 or lower than that. I mean, it could depends how much quantitative easing it is, right? So, all right, we're gonna get to the next subject. We're gonna be talking about companies that are profitable because I talked about that at the beginning of the video. The basis of this is how many minutes are we through this? 14 minutes. Okay. So I'm going to make about a 20-minute video. I'm going to try to make it around that timeline. Basically, Trulieve is the dominant player as far as adjusted operative income. GW Pharma did minus 51 million, and MedMed's burning a lot of money. But MedMed just announced that the lawyers, well, it's not the lawyers, but basically the people that were defending that they were on the offensive side, they're stepping back kind of as far as the lawsuit against the owners in MedMed. and now MedMen is like getting on the aggressive side, and they're gonna like stomp those people and try to like get like, I don't know, 50 to $100 million maybe, and just for wasting their time, because this is a public company and they're defending that this is bashing the company and things like that. So they're gonna try to get uh, payback. And Curaleaf did minus $12 million, which isn't too bad because, listen, if the company starts doing like $200 million, that's putting them in a range where they can absolutely, I believe, 200 million per quarter. They can absolutely get them to profitability. It's not a for sure thing. That's the same ideals with Kushco. So Kushco has a low profit margin, but they're still not burning too much money with their SG&A. SG&A is like general and administration costs. That I'm not sure what the S stands for, but I'm just trying to act smart. I'm not trying to, but basically that's the thing that they use with Apple. I haven't seen it used in the cannabis industry as far as I know, but general and administration costs are something that really takes away from a company from being able to be profitable to losing money. So, when listen, if a company's doing $200 million per quarter, and if they're like, listen, if Curaleaf's doing $200 million per quarter, and they're spending the same amount of money as they are this quarter for general and administration costs, they're going to be profitable. I absolutely do believe that. As long as they're not spending too much on their expansion, they're going to be profitable. So you have to look at that and realize that Curaleaf could be profitable. I own 0 shares in Curaleaf, but I do own 100 shares in Kushco. And I just look at it that the fact is minus 8.6 on 35.2 million. Now, if they did 70 or 150 million per quarter, I really do truly believe that they could make around like 10 to 50 million in net income. So 10 to 50 million dollars in net income, then that's like per quarter, that's 40 to 200 million dollars in net income. So on based on like a 25 to a to yeah, like that's like a $1 billion to $2.5 billion market cap that they would achieve by having that ratio. So based on what their market cap is right now, it's around like 450 million. So there's lots of room. Like it can go up like 2 times to 5 times just based on a 25 PE ratio, based on them growing their revenues and all that stuff like that. So it's hard to say when that will happen. I mean, it could happen in 2 to 3 years. I think they will. They won't be profitable for all of 2019. I think that's a sure. I think that's a sure thing. They're not going to be profitable in 2019, but in 2020, there's a good chance that they could be like very low in profits, like maybe 5 to 20 million. So on like a 20 PE, that's like 100 million to 400 million market cap. So that's where they're at right now, right? So that's what you have to realize, that Kush bottle could go down. I own 100 shares and I bought them around like 550, but I accept the fact that it could go down a lot. But I also realize that I think it could easily go to like $20. Now they're not touching the plant, so they could go on the Nasdaq, and they could be a big hit on the Nasdaq and get a lot of public investment money and bump the stock up to about uh, like $15 to $25 per share. So who's to say where it's going to go? Tilt Holdings lost a lot of money. A lot of it was to do with stock. Uh, so it's not really like based on their operational costs. It's just based on their acquisition kit costs. And a lot of people don't understand that because they're a new company. So it is what it is. With Charles Webb, their net income. Yeah, like I Halo Labs, I think is a boss. I think like based on this list, like I've done my own financial look at their balance sheets, and this is kind of different than what I was seeing. So I don't know how accurate this adjusted operational income means. I guess it has to do with biological assets and stuff like that. But I just look at like the net income on these companies. But basically, like Halo Labs is really a boss as far as this goes. So when Halo starts doing like 20, $50 million per quarter, which they very well could do within the next like I'm gonna say around like 8 to 24 months. I think they could get up to around like 25 to $50 million per quarter in the next 8 to 24 months. I think that's very conservative, to be honest. I mean, they may not hit those. I'm not gonna promise that, but if they do, there's a good chance that based on like 25 on based on like $100 million per year, they could do around like $10 million in net income. So based on like a 50 PE, they should be worth around like $500 million. That's the thing is, you gotta look at these. Like I look at all these companies, Microsoft and all these other companies, and all these companies are so sporadic on based on their price to PE ratio. So it all depends what the market wants to give them. You know, there's companies such as US Steel that's got a PE ratio of 2.5, and then there's companies that have been as high as like negative PE ratio, or companies that have like 100 or 200 PE ratio. In mature industries, they have a lot more to prove, so they need to have a lower PE ratio. But I mean, there's no saying where it goes from now because I don't I don't run the industry. I don't. I wish I had $1 billion and I would have a lot bigger pie in affecting the industry. But I don't. Listen, these industries are based on what all these financial institutions and the analysts think that these companies are worth. And they play hand in hand. They play hand in hand. Straight up, they play hand in hand. When they want a stock to go down, they'll try to get stock going down. That's why you have to be aware of these things, the net income, because they'll take it down and then they'll walk it up. So don't be the person that when they walk it down, you sell, and then when they walk it up, then it goes a lot higher. Um, Cannabis gross minus 150, Aurora Cannabis minus 94. You know, Organigram and Medifarm have very healthy financials as far as the cannabis industry goes. Afria, not so much. CanTrust, not bad. National Access, very good. Not positive, but it's very getting close. It's getting close. I love the year-over-year growth. Suniva, very positive. It's not positive, but you have to understand that they are just buying from other companies. So as soon as they grow their own cannabis and they get up to like 30 to $50 million per quarter, they're gonna kill it. They're gonna kill it. Suniva is gonna kill it. Straight up. I'm honest to God, I wanna go so effing hard in Suniva because Suniva is gonna be a cash king. Cash king. Trust me. I'm not going to guarantee this, but Suniva is going to make you a lot of money if you get in at the right time. I'm going to try to get in around like 280 to $3. If it happens in the next while, I'm going to buy 1,000 shares, I think. If it goes lower to like $2 or even lower, I think I'm gonna buy even more. I really truly do believe in Suniva just because their management, and I think their facility is gonna be top notch, automated, and it's gonna make a lot of handsome profits. Hexocorp, not the greatest, but for the amount, like I like that they grouped up with HIP. Zenabis, not the best as well for, and they're spending a lot of money building their facility. But I think Zenabis has a great chance of being profitable late or middle 2020 for a quarter. Not for the whole year, probably not for the whole year, but come to like 2021, I think they're going to be profitable. Origin House is now with Cresco. I'm not bullish on Cresco. Origin House, I'm not. -11. I don't know. They might start to be profitable, but I just don't believe in them. Call me crazy. Supreme is now with Blisco. Now, if they start selling somewhere around like 30 to 40 to $50 million per quarter, I think they have a chance of being profitable. That may happen in 2020. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but I think whether they get acquired by a bigger company such as Tilray, uh, they'll be around, but they may get acquired because I just don't think they can really do it by themselves. Isodio, I think Isodio is going to be very profitable in the future if they don't get acquired. They're on Hall and Barrett in Europe. I own shares, so I'm not trying to be biased or anything like that. I do have a position in Isodol, and I am in the red. It's based on their financials. They do need to do a better thing about becoming profitable, and that will be based on them doing a better revenues and being smarter with their cash flows, not burn and their burn rate. So we'll see. We will absolutely see. But I think the safest investments out of all these companies are going to be Zenabis. Hexo, I like the fact they're on the NYSE, so they can get a lot more capital going. But they're an expansion story. I really don't think they're going to be profitable for a while, but they're going to sell a lot. I think they're going to sell a lot in 2020, somewhere like 200 to 300 million probably. Suniva is going to be profitable. They're going to make a lot of money as well. I think they're going to do 150, 200 million plus in 2020. We'll see. I might be high in my estimations. Maybe it's only around like 100 to 120 million. National Access is gonna get to be profitable. I really do truly believe. Whether they get acquired, it's hard to say. CanTrust, I think, will get to be profitable. But I don't really love the business, to be honest. Their weed's okay. I've tried their weed. I'm not going to touch Afria. It's a wild card. Metafarm Labs is going to be dynamic as far as their net income goes straight up. They're going to make great profits. They really are. They're going to make a lot of profits for people. They're going to be one of the companies in the next 2 to 4 years, I think, in the cannabis industry that will have so much cash flow going that they're going to end up giving people dividends potentially. I'm not going to promise that because this company could just expand all over the world and spend more money and keep losing money. So I'm not going to promise nothing, but I think they have a potential to do that. Same with Organigram. I'm not going to go on about them, but I think they're in the same kind of situation. Aurora is just going to be a Tesla's. They're going to keep trying to grow their revenues $65 million. They're going to try to get up to like $1 billion, $2 billion in the next couple years. Same with Canopy. They're going to just racing to get the market share, but they're not going to be profitable. True Leaf it has to move into other states. GW Pharma is a pharmaceutical company, and their balance sheet's not going to matter as much. It just matters about how fluid their pie in the sky as far as their pharmaceutical movement in cannabis space. They're the number one, so they create a premium, and they're on the NASDAQ, so people will pay an arm and a leg, and their revenues are pretty humongous, so we'll see. When they do start doing, say, like 250, 400, 500 million per quarter, that's probably when they're going to start showing profit, but probably not really until they reach like 150, 200 million per quarter that they'll start reaching a profit. And I think that's kind of the same issue with MedMen. MedMen has to create like 150, 300 million per quarter before they have a chance of creating a profit. But they're a growth story. So it's like Apple. When they get to like $5 billion per quarter, they're making tons of money. And I don't know, I've gone on and on about this list. Let me know down below. Leave a comment down below. Listen, I'm not the smartest investor out there. There's always someone else smarter than me. And that's just a humble approach, because if you think you know everything, then get ready to get crushed. Get ready to get crushed. You gotta stay humble in this game. I will tell you straight up, I have not made much money at all in 2019. I'm at a loss for this for investing in the cannabis industry. But I'm not worried. I'm not worried because I believe in my future. I'm moving out of this house, and I believe some of my investments will skyrocket, and I'm going to sell them when they reach 52-week highs, and I'll go into a heavy cash position, and I'll wait till the future. This is my vision. Stay tuned. Let me know what you think. Give me thumbs up. I do love them. Leave a comment. I love to have discussions, and I'm gonna have more videos upcoming. They're gonna be sporadic because I'm gonna be camping this summer. But you never know when it's gonna happen. So, anyways, I love you all. Until next time, peace.